are some episodes that are not very well liked. We have D-Girl in Camelot, Christopher, A Hit is a Hit, Chasing It, and some others. The thing is, in these episodes, there are certain moments that are really key to understanding and appreciating the full Sopranos story. And the purpose of this video is to take a look at some of those moments. So, let's get into it. Let's start with D-Girl, Season 2, Episode 7.
Sounds to me like Anthony Jr. may have stumbled onto existentialism.
Fucking internet.
No. It's a European philosophy. After World War II, people were disillusioned by the sheer weight of the horrors. And that's when the whole idea took root that there were no absolute truths.
In your house, even motherhood is up for debate. Let's talk about that mother, Livia. You know how at the end of the series, AJ is at therapy with Carmela and Tony, talking to the therapist and discussing childhood and kind of the reasons why he feels the way he does. And guess who comes up? Livia.
Would you like to tell your parents what your grandmother said?
My mother?
Grandma. Dad's mom.
What'd she say?
That it's all a big nothing.
What is?
Life.
I was her, all right.
Okay, fine. She said those kinds of things.
She sat up in bed when she could hardly move. I mean, she could hardly breathe. She said in the end that your friends and family let you down and that you die in your own arms.
Don't expect happiness. You won't get it. People let you down. What makes you think you're so special?
There's a 7-part hierarchy of human needs that explains and clarifies what drives us.
If you're not here, I'm gonna assume that you went to look for whatever the fuck it is that's calling you out there. And that I will never see you again. If you are still here, then I'm gonna assume that you got no other desire in the world but to be with me. And your actions will show me that every fucking second of every fucking day.
Abraham Maslow's hierarchy of needs, it's one of the best known theories of motivation. And his theory states that our actions are motivated by certain physiological and psychological needs. They're the basics: food, water, shelter. Then safety and security, health, employment, property. Followed by love and belonging, friendship, family, a sense of connection. Followed by self-esteem, and then self-actualization. So if we look at Christopher sitting on the steps of the Soprano residence, thinking about what choice he's going to make. Perhaps in his head, he's thinking about how each world can best meet his needs, if at all. Next up, Christopher, Season 4, Episode 3. So this scene here, to me, it's a unique look into the blatant hypocrisy in terms of the characters that complain about other people getting things that they don't deserve, including people who may otherwise usually be pretty reasonable, like Bobby Baccalieri.
Fuck we ever get we have to work our balls off for? I won't mind sitting on my ass all day, smoking mushrooms and collecting government checks.
And it's interesting because they even call out each other's hypocrisy later on at the end of the episode. When they're driving home, it's Tony, Syl, Christopher and Patsy in the backseat. Syl's complaining more about anti-Italian discrimination. Tony starts talking about Gary Cooper, which Syl reminds him, that was the movies. But it just goes to show how they all have their own biases, and it's easier for others looking from the outside in to be objective and rational. But it seems to all go to the side when it comes to what they're insulted by or what they're personally offended by.
Not for nothing, but you're getting a little confused here. That was the movies.
He was gay, Gary Cooper?
No! Are you listening to me? You got a smart kid at Lackawanna College. You got a wife who's a piece of ass. At least she was when you married her. You own one of the most profitable topless bars in North Jersey. Now, did you get all the shit because you're Italian? No, you got it because you're you. What the fuck is our self-esteem? I mean, That shit doesn't come from Columbus or The Godfather or Chef fucking Boyardee.
Next, in Camelot, Season 5, Episode 7. I know I've mentioned this before in a video about Livia and also one about fatherhood, but this is another scene from In Camelot that shows the type of person that Johnny Boy was. It's one thing to have a gumar, and it's another thing to leave your pregnant wife in the hospital alone bleeding as she's having a miscarriage. Tony even visits his gumars in the hospital. Irina, Valentina.
Ask Anthony, you don't believe me.
Where were you last night, Anthony?
We were at Cousin Jimmy's, Ma.
Another In Camelot moment that not only do I really love because I think it's just an awesome scene, but when Tony chases Phil, as we hear Rock the Caspar, and then Phil ends up hitting the truck, and we see Tony grab his neck, and then Phil's neck is in pain. He ends up getting the neck brace. And to me, that seems like possible foreshadowing of how Phil dies later on in the series finale. That was a pain in the neck.
Jesus Christ. Mister, you okay in there? Oh, my God. You all right? You run from me, you fucking cocksucker? Where's my fucking money?
I'll get it. My neck, Tony.
What do you think, I'm an asshole? Huh?
No.
Huh?
No, Tony.
I can't hear you.
No, please. Tony.
You got 24 hours.
Next, Chasing It, Season 6, Episode 16. Chasing It feels like a re-emphasis of the fact that money is just one aspect of the it that people are chasing.
I've been losing. Fucking losing right now. Real shitty streak.
Money, power, control, confidence, sex, etc.
So your solution is to risk more and make things even worse.
When you start chasing it, and every time you get your hands around it, you fall further backwards.
So this is about money, because it didn't feel like it.
And gambling. Oh, how the mighty have fallen. Remember how Tony talked about that degenerate gambler Mahaffey all the way back in the pilot?
Your debt and the feelings surrounding it is the source of all your problems. You know it and I know it.
I'm sorry I haven't paid you, Herman.
I know you are.
And I never meant to denigrate Tony Soprano.
Now, looks like things have been flipped on their head. See, Mahaffey owed Hesh $250,000. But now, Tony owes Hesh $200,000. Funny how things seem to come full circle.
Right, you eat and you play and you pretend like there's not a giant piano hanging by a rope just over the top of your head every minute of every day.
Another thing that happens in Chasing It that I found significant is when Tony goes off on Carlo in the car and complains that Vito brought in 3 times as much as Carlo did. And perhaps that has an impact on Carlo later on, when he's thinking about whether or not to protect his son by giving information about Tony.
Because Vito brought in 3 times what you do on construction.
10:30. 10:30. What'd you like for breakfast?
Renata.
And the fact that it even crosses our mind that Tony might have somehow been responsible for Renata's death or had something to do with it is also another hint or another indication of just how far Tony's fallen. Just how much, in Dr. Melfi's words, he's decompensated. Finally, a hit is a hit. I put this one at the end here briefly because I just wanted to contrast it with a scene that we see in Chasing It. Ash's office, where we see all of the memorabilia, music, awards, old photos, etc. It's all very impressive. But then in Chasing It, when Tony comes by to see Hesh after Renata dies, all of that stuff seems far away in the background, with Hesh and his grief front and center. Thanks for watching, as always. I hope you enjoyed this video.